What's up, everyone? A to Z Sports, welcome in on a Monday, a gloomy, stormy, rainy Monday in Nashville, Tennessee. But we're talking today about the rumors with Aaron Rodgers that just won't stop. And they continue to have the Titans involved in the saga around the Green Bay Packers quarterback, who might be looking for a new team this offseason, but might not be looking for a new team, or he might retire. So we'll go over the new updated rumors and reports from Pro Football Talks, Mike Florio, that came out late Friday / early Saturday morning as the NFL's spring break of the NFL Combine continued throughout the weekend. And so we'll talk about what this means for the Titans and Aaron Rodgers. We'll give our predictions on Aaron Rodgers, where he will play next season, and the four teams that seem to be reportedly in the running for his services, again, according to Mike Florio of Pro Football Talk. Then we'll talk about, because the deadline for Aaron Rodgers has been assumed to be the franchise tag deadline. That is tomorrow, Tuesday at 3 p.m. Central Time, which is also where the Titans have a decision of Harold Landry, whether to tag or not to tag. So we'll discuss the franchise tag possibilities of Harold Landry. There's been one franchise tag handed out in the NFL this morning. So then, Zach, we're going to call an audible. Omaha, would you rather? No more bad sales job. Would you rather to wrap up this Monday show? So welcome in. Hope you're having a good, hope you had a good weekend. And I see you took another step forward or backward, whichever way you think, with the facial hair.
I would say forward. Definitely forward.
It's whoever's opinion. It can be forward, backwards.
It's the eye of the beholder.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody's got an opinion, just like, is it a good step or a bad step? But you made a step with the facial hair for you marrying your cousin in Texas. This
officiating my cousin's wedding. We figured that out on Friday of the correct verbiage of what needs to be used when talking about that. I overall, I had a really good weekend, but it was ruined last night. And I have got to wait till Wednesday to disclose why it was ruined, because I have big time shade this week. Some of the biggest shade that I've ever had in the history of shade.
Wow.
So that happened. I cannot wait till Wednesday to be able to discuss this, because I'm very adamant about things in general. This I am very adamant about. So shade on Wednesday, but it ain't Wednesday yet. It's Monday, and we're broadcasting live from on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. We'll also be tweeting out the YouTube links right there. So follow us at A to Z Sports. On Facebook, what's going on YouTube, what's going on. If you're on YouTube, subscribe to our channel. We got tons of content coming out on the reg daily, especially this offseason with free agency, draft, etc. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. And on Facebook, what's going on. The real OGs over there on Facebook, the road to 100K. We're a little over 75,000, and we're cruising right along. How we get to 100K is you guys share the show. Bottom left corner of your screen, share not a public. Sharing is caring, and caring is sharing. We got a lot to get to. More people are going to be piling in over the next 5 to 10 minutes. Let's get this party started on a Monday.
Yep, let's do it officially. Welcome to A to Z Sports, powered by the BetMGM app. I'm Austin Stanley. He is Zach Bingham. Make sure you follow us all over social media, because that's where we are. We go live every weekday morning at 8 Central Time, Nashville's on-demand sports talk network, on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Also hit us up on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Got to thank our sponsors, because they truly do make it happen for us, and they help out you guys. Renters Warehouse Nashville, the professional landlords in the area at renterswarehouse.com. Wilson County Hyundai, make them a part of your car buying process by going to see them in Lebanon or at wilsoncountyhyundai.com. The Bone and Joint Institute, boneandjointtn.org, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care. Plus, Farm Bureau Health Plans. Get better with Farm Bureau Health Plans. Better service, better rates, better coverage. Learn more about a plan for you at fbhp.com/ATOZ. Just when you thought the Titans and Aaron Rodgers was all dead, Mike Florio at the NFL Combine lights the fire yet again. It's like the torch in Knoxville. The flame never goes out. The Aaron Rodgers and Titans rumors will never end until Aaron Rodgers is either playing for the Titans or playing for the Packers or playing for apparently the Steelers or the Broncos. So we will go ahead and show you the report from Florio of Pro Football Talk. This is from his article late Friday / early Saturday morning. The destinations are for a Rodgers trade are believed to be exclusively in the AFC. The Broncos are one of them. Other viable possibilities, we are told, are the Titans and Steelers. To be clear, if Rodgers chooses Denver, Tennessee, or Pittsburgh, the deals will fall into place quickly, both as to the trade terms and as to the contract Rodgers would sign. Thus, as we understand it, the current question isn't simply Packers versus not the Packers. It's Green Bay or Denver or Tennessee or Pittsburgh, with a final move hinging on whatever Rodgers decides to do. So there's a lot of stuff, Zach, right there in that 3 quick paragraphs from Mike Florio there at Pro Football Talk. What's your thoughts initially with it as you saw it over the weekend?
Well, I have a thing with Mike Florio, and I respect what he's built with Pro Football Talk, right? It is a juggernaut. It gets out a lot of information. And look, he is in somewhat of the know, but he also is notorious for being to play the clickbait game, right? To get those clicks. And I think for me, Mike Florio, a little bit discredited of casting a wider net just to kind of hedge his bet to see if he'll be right in the scheme of things. I don't know who he's talked to, but I thought it was interesting. I think he is taking some of the reports that have happened over the last several months and just kind of piling them on within this report. That's kind of how I felt. It does make sense with AFC teams, right? Because Green Bay doesn't want to trade their superstar quarterback, the MVP of the league. They don't want to trade him to an NFC team and prevent them from getting to the Super Bowl. And we don't know how the Packers are going to be, in the near future. I mean, if Jordan Love is their quarterback, it could be weird. The NFC North could be wide open. So,
and not
I don't know,
with a bunch of bad to average quarterbacks,
right? I mean,
Kirk Cousins is all
open.
of a sudden the best looking guy in the room.
Well, and the funny thing is it's kind of like the NFC East was without Dak 2 years ago, brutal. And just anybody can win, but nobody wants to or can. So I think those are my initial thoughts on it. I think it makes sense to the AFC teams. And the best part about this is we're going to find out. There's a deadline, right? So Aaron Rodgers got to make his decision. He has a ton of power, which is unique in these type of situations because it doesn't always happen in the NFL. It happens a lot more in the NBA. And it has to do with the trade, right? The Packers have to love the value that they're getting. They don't want a disgruntled employee, but they don't want to just get rid of Aaron Rodgers for the sake of it. It's just like what the Houston Texans did this year. They sat on Deshaun Watson because they didn't want to just get rid of him, just to get rid of him.
No, you can only trade Deshaun Watson once, so you better get everything you can get. You can only trade Aaron Rodgers one time, so you got to go get everything you could possibly get. So, my reaction is, it does. The AFC thing makes a lot of sense, and the teams make sense. Denver, pretty solid roster, missing a massive hole at the quarterback position. The Titans, the quarterback is what kept them from potentially getting to the Super Bowl this past year. And then Pittsburgh, really good team around them and a retiring quarterback in Ben Roethlisberger. So all of these things make sense because all three of those AFC teams believe in what they've built around the quarterback position. And Aaron Rodgers is no doubt an upgrade in all three situations, including Ryan Tannehill. So the new information that I am curious about where Mike Florio is getting this is what he says in the second graph, right? To be clear, if Rodgers chooses Denver or Tennessee or Pittsburgh, the deals will fall into place quickly, both as to the trade terms and as to the contract Rodgers would sign. That's the new part, right? That's the fact that all of the work has already been done. It's like the recruiting commitment right? It's the hats are on the table. Everybody has done the work behind it. It's just which hat will Aaron Rodgers pick off the table in his high school gym? And his mom's not going to care because he doesn't talk to his family. But again, like what is the situation going to be like? And I just find it tough to believe that the Titans seriously have a hat on that table.
Well, the reason why Tennessee is involved in this is because of the report of him living in Nashville, right?
Building a
That's
home
what
in
I
Brentwood,
truly believe.
yes.
Huh?
Yeah. Building
I mean,
a home in Brentwood. Not
right?
here yet. He's not here yet, but he's building a home in Brentwood.
But I think in the Titans' need of a quarterback, I mean, we've established that Ryan Tannehill, they had the best opportunity since 2008, and he wet the bed. I will never stop saying this, unfortunately. First throw is a pick, last throw is a pick. You can't do that in the playoffs. And so there was a ton of, and we talk to these fans every day. Titans fans were pissed at Ryan Tannehill. They were disappointed in Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill's not an elite quarterback, but he had to play elite in the playoffs to kind of prove his value, his worth, and what he was to this franchise. And unfortunately, he was unable to even prove anything this past year in the postseason when it really matters. So I think that also stems why Tennessee is sprinkled in here. Tennessee is not the main feature of this recipe, but could they backdoor themselves? John Robinson's notoriously of a wheeler and dealer. They feel like they're on the cusp. They just got passed off of an offseason that they traded for Julio Jones, something that they rarely do in franchise history, to trade for that big of a player. So all of these things, I think, have it's the culmination of where we are with the deadline and kind of the final teams where you have Tennessee, Green Bay, Denver, and Pittsburgh. Denver, and we've had this show a couple of times, Denver is unique because of their new head coaching situation, right? The familiarity with Aaron Rodgers. That's valuable. I think that was one of the strategies possibly that Denver and why they hired him, not the only reason. And the Pittsburgh Steelers are in this because they got to replace Ben Roethlisberger. And what do we know about the NFL? It's damn hard to replace a Hall of Fame quarterback. There's usually gap years. Look at what the Colts have tried to do since Andrew Luck has left. They tried to have Phillip Rivers do the best job he can. Then he tried Carson Wentz. That didn't work. So it's really tough. And Pittsburgh is a very respectable franchise, right? They value winning. They spend money. They're well run. Mike Tomlin is highly respected. So all of these come into play. And then here's the main caveat. Green Bay. This is where all of his buddies are. He loves this locker room. He's told us the reason why he stayed. He loves the guys on his team. But the guys on his team aren't good enough.
And there's a lot of guys on his team that are also sitting here waiting to see what he's going to do, because nobody wants to be in Green Bay without Aaron Rodgers. Green Bay has been a good destination for our lifetime, Zach, because they went from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers. We don't know what Green Bay looks like without a quarterback over the last 30 years. So let's go ahead and get to this. Ethan, I thought I had a really good comment too that I want to read, but let's ask you guys this question. Where will Aaron Rodgers play football next season? Green Bay, Pittsburgh, Denver, or Tennessee? Where will Aaron Rodgers play football this upcoming season with the four teams that we're talking about right there on the graphic? But real quick, let me tell you guys about the Bone & Joint Institute, boneandjointtn.org, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care. Whenever you get hurt in life, know who to go to, know who you should trust, boneandjointtn.org. They have over a dozen doctors at their Franklin campus, the main campus there, who can specialize in any type of joint injury you could possibly have. And if Franklin is not convenient for you, they have satellite campuses in Brentwood, Nolensville, and in Thompson Station. So look, if Aaron Rodgers is building in Brentwood, so he's got the Bone & Joint Institute right next to his new house whenever that ends up happening. But boneandjointtn.org is where to go.
BetMGM, we are powered by BetMGM. Use that promo code ATOZ Sports right there on the screen. Risk-free bet up to $1,000 for new users. That is a hell of a deal. BetMGM, download it in your app store, whether it's on Android or on Apple. You can sign up. Make sure you use that promo code. Risk-free bet up to $1,000 for new users.
All right, so I wanted to read Ethan Ramsey's comment because I think it was smart. But also, where will Aaron Rodgers play next season? Is it the Titans, the Packers, the Steelers, or the Broncos? That's what Mike Florio's report is. And Ethan says whenever a talent is available, the Titans always seem to be mentioned because John Robinson will always call to check the price. And that is absolutely true. That's what happened. Remember when Antonio Brown was leaving the Steelers a few years ago? The Titans were involved in those reports. Why? Because exactly what Ethan's talking about. John Robinson will always inquire. He'll pick up the phone and he'll try to figure out what that price might be. So we'll get to your comments in a second. Where do you think Aaron Rodgers will play next season? I'll show the report again from Florio. What he says is exclusive destinations in the AFC, if not Green Bay. And those are Denver, Tennessee, and Pittsburgh. To be clear, if Rodgers chooses Denver, Tennessee, or Pittsburgh, the deals will fall into place quickly, both as the trade terms and the contract Rodgers would sign. So that is what is on the table there for Aaron Rodgers. So, Zach, what are the comments saying about where 12 will be playing next fall?
Gene says Green Bay. Demetrius says Denver, former Green Bay offensive coordinator, now the head coach. Chance to sign Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
Let's see. Tyler says Tennessee would be the best fit among those teams, but he thinks he's staying in Green Bay. So does Nick. So does Steve. John says, I'm saying Tennessee because of the team going after a passing coordinator.
Yeah, Tim Kelly. Tim Kelly. They hired Tim Kelly to basically come in and help. I mean, that's an opinion from somebody.
Yeah, it is an opinion. Jeff says Green Bay. We've had majority of Green Bay's coming in. Jaron says Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh makes the most sense. Rodgers is looking for an organization that will be stable and will be willing to do what needs to be done to win. Hard to find a better organization than the Steelers. There are no lies there. Davidson says Green Bay. Denver would be dangerous with him from Chris Stress. Tyler, look, this is not that out of the realm because of how weird he is. He may retire with one of those emojis.
Back-to-back MVPs just being like, all right, I'm done.
It would be crazy. Jay just says not Tennessee, and Mikey says I'd stay in Green Bay. NFC is massively easier than the AFC. I'm going to say this before I want to hear what you have to say, Austin. If he ends up going to the AFC now all of a sudden, the Titans, you talk about that ladder, the rung, they're way on down there. You got Patrick Mahomes, you got Josh Allen, you got Joe Burrow, you got Aaron Rodgers, and I can't even mention of what Mac Jones could be, Justin Herbert. Oh yeah, Lamar Jackson when healthy. I mean, where does Tannehill rank on all of that stuff? I just named 8 in the AFC if Aaron Rodgers is in there because he definitely jumps Ryan Tannehill. Austin, where do you think Aaron Rodgers ends up?
That's what I was gonna go. If winning is Aaron Rodgers' number one priority, then staying in Green Bay is the place to go. You do not want to go to the AFC. And I know the Titans were just
you don't want to go to the AFC West, especially.
Or the North.
The North is, I think.
But those are the two most competitive divisions in the AFC. Right? Yeah.
It's sure as hell not the South.
Or the East. It's the West by far, and then it's the North. And so
look, Miami, New England, and Buffalo are unique, but I still agree with you. They're better teams in the North.
Yeah, the North, because you have like the Ravens sputtered because of their injuries all around. They were not as injured as the Titans, but they lost their quarterback where the Titans did not. They also lost the running back in Lamar Jackson too. But so I don't. Then you have the Browns, who are a circus but are a very talented roster. The Bengals and the Steelers. Those are all teams that you can say could make the playoffs next year, and you could argue that all 4 teams have a shot to win the division next year if Aaron Rodgers goes to Pittsburgh.
If you want to win your division, besides Green Bay, you go to Tennessee.
Right. And if winning is the number one priority, Green Bay's number 1, Tennessee's number 2. I think Pittsburgh is probably 3 and Denver is 4 because you're stuck in there in the AFC West with Patrick Mahomes. Now, I think man, the NFL world would love to get Rodgers versus Mahomes twice in one season, in the regular season, and maybe once more times in the playoffs. But where do I think he's going to go? Man, it just feels to me like he's going to stay in Green Bay, which is so weird because 4 weeks ago, I was so adamant that Aaron Rodgers was out. I thought it was done. I thought it was over. But I feel like the longer this has gone on, the more likely he is to stay in Green Bay. And I think the reason why he would is the reason why the timeline has always been franchise tag deadline day, which is Tuesday tomorrow at 3 Central, is because he wants to do right by Devontae Adams. And the Packers have to make a decision on Devontae Adams, and Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to screw over his boy Devontae by
that's some of it, but you got to do something for yourself.
No, for sure. But I also I think he stays in Green Bay, it's weird. If you told me 4 weeks ago that I would finally predict Aaron Rodgers back to Packers, I would call myself crazy.
Well, so here's the craziest part. You want to go something crazy? To think about the Tennessee Titans, where the possibility of at least talks, because I think Tom Brady wanted to go to Tennessee if Tennessee wanted Tom Brady last year or 2 years ago.
2 years ago. Yeah.
I think Aaron Rodgers wants to go to Tennessee, but I don't think Tennessee wants Aaron Rodgers. I think that's the problem. That's the craziest part. That this franchise has had opportunities with now 2, possibly, and we're based on reports and rumors, 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks that have had interest. There's interest, whether it is I want to go to Tennessee and be a Titan, or I'm interested in going to Tennessee to be a Titan. Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers have both been in that conversation. And what have the Titans done? Nah, we're good. That's what they've done. Nah, we're good. That is baffling to me. That makes no sense. I think $57.4 million in dead cap space. I completely understand it. You find a way. If you're John Robinson, you find an effing way, because Tannehill ain't getting you to the Super Bowl next year. And if he doesn't get you to the Super Bowl next year, based on maybe some weird circumstances, would be the only reason why, if he threw 4 touchdown passes and got outdueled. We've talked about that in the playoffs. Besides that, his ass better get you to a Super Bowl. He can't do that. He doesn't have the capacity. And he's not going to get an opportunity as good as he did last year. So I think that, to me, in this whole realm, is the craziest part of this whole damn deal. The Tennessee Titans, who have been the butt of every joke with Vince Young and Jake Locker for 10 years, gets Marcus Mariota, finally gets their franchise organized with John Robinson. You got 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks that have serious interest in going to your franchise, and you say, nah, I'm good. That's ridiculous. On to the question.
Hold on real quick, because people are reacting to what you're saying about the Titans had the opportunity for Brady and Rodgers and passing on both. People are bringing up, what about Peyton Manning? And that's the chat might have a misremembering of how that went down. The Titans gave Peyton Manning, Bud Adams gave Peyton Manning a blank check. Peyton Manning did not pick the Titans. Yeah, so true. The Titans were interested in Peyton. Mark Mariani's told this story on airwaves all over the place of him being driven to the middle of nowhere, East Tennessee, to go meet up with Peyton Manning in a random high school football field to see if Manning's arm was back from the neck surgery, the procedures. And so the Titans did what they were supposed to do with Peyton. Peyton decided the franchise is not ready for me. And it was not. Peyton Manning was correct, because the franchise would have gotten Peyton Manning killed because they got Jake Locker.
And he went to 2 Super Bowls and won one of them going to Denver, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the unique part about it, right? Everybody wants a franchise quarterback. Does the franchise quarterback want you?
And so let's get to this too, because Steven brings up there's reports that Tennessee has an offer on the table for Aaron Rodgers. So let's reset and go over this. And I still I haven't exactly gotten to the point about what I think the Titans are doing here. But first, Zach, tell everybody about Farm Bureau health plans.
Yeah, and I'll answer the question. I went on a little
Yeah, my
Tannehill
bad,
rant.
my bad.
But I will tell about Farm Bureau health plans. You don't have to go out into a field or anywhere to get their coverage. Their coverage is all across the state of Tennessee, 200 plus locations, better coverage, better rates, better service. That's fbhp.com/A to Z. I had a great experience with them. I was paying a little higher cost for not great coverage with my old health plan. I got a health assessment. It took me 35 minutes. It actually probably took about 25 minutes. I waited a couple of days. They gave me my quote, saving 20% per month. I get better coverage. I get allowance for teeth cleanings. I get allowance for contacts. I think they give me $100 for my contacts. Nobody has ever given me $100 so I could see. That's unbelievable. Plus, I'm paying less to get more. I mean, that makes the most sense ever. Pay less to get more with fbhp.com/A to Z. Change your coverage, at least get a quote, and see how it compares to your health plan now.
Don't forget, download the BetMGM app and use our code ATOZ Sports to get a risk-free bet up to $1,000 with your first bet after your first deposit. It is March 7th, which we know what's coming up, and it's a great opportunity to take advantage of what BetMGM can do. I love betting on college basketball. It's so much fun. Won $50 off of Oral Roberts of all teams last night to save my Sunday. So download the app, use our code ATOZ Sports. You make your first deposit, and then your first bet is risk-free up to $1,000 after with that code ATOZ Sports. So, Zach, I will let you go ahead and answer the question on where do you think Aaron Rodgers will be, and then I'll get into how I feel about the Titans.
I think he is leaving.
Okay.
And the reason why I think he's leaving is because I think Aaron Rodgers needs a life change. He just broke up with his fiance. He thought he was going down one path.
Are they still together, but just not engaged?
It ain't the same. Let's just say that, right? I don't know whether they're together
you and Aaron
or not.
Rodgers have something in familiar. You will both be officiating weddings in March.
Correct. And I almost got married a handful of years ago, too. So there's two, right? So I actually thought that's where you were going. But yes, no. we're both officiating weddings and have been through that. And that's another reason why I do think he needs a change. When that happens to one, and Aaron Rodgers is a weird guy in the sense of like he's very like zen. He does 12-day cleanses, whatever he does. I think he needs a change. I think he goes to Pittsburgh because I think Pittsburgh is the right organization to do it, to pull it off. When you make a change in your life, whether you move, you want a little bit of a safety net, right? It's a leap of faith. You're jumping off the cliff. You're going to something that you've never experienced before. I think the safety net is the stability of the Packers organization. They've got good quality players. They have the second best defensive player in the league. Aaron Donald is one. TJ Watt's probably two. They've got a really good head coach, a really good franchise that doesn't lose consistently. And we talked about you don't want to be in the AFC West. You'd rather be in the AFC North than the AFC West. I think there's no question about that. You'd rather be in the NFC North.
He's not worried about weather, right?
You're not worried about weather. I think my prediction is the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Okay.
That makes the most sense to me. Kyle Rudolph and Dwayne Haskins, that ain't going to cut the mustard. I think he goes to Pittsburgh.
Mason Rudolph. Kyle Rudolph catches passes.
Oh, yeah, Mason.
Yeah. So T. Shannon says, so reports out of Denver are that the Broncos are ready to offer the 9th pick this year, their second round pick this year, and next year's first for Aaron Rodgers. And then, there's Jay saying
picks.
Jay saying the Titans are going to give up first round pick in the next 2 years, a second round pick in 2023, and a third round pick this year, and Ryan Tannehill to the Packers for Aaron Rodgers. And that's what I was going to get to is that, somebody commented earlier on the show saying that it's being reported that the Titans have an offer on the table. And that's what Mike Florio is saying. Mike Florio is saying that the Titans, the Broncos, and the Steelers have an offer on the table, a package ready to go for Aaron Rodgers to decide where he wants to go, and they pull the trigger and they make it happen. And that all three of these teams in the AFC also have a contract ready for Aaron Rodgers to sign to meet whatever his needs are. I just highly doubt, and I don't believe Mike Florio, that the Titans have an offer on the table. I just don't believe it. And if you listen to Buck Rising last night on A to Z Sports Primetime, if you read his article on A to Z Sports.com on Saturday, I don't think the Titans want Aaron Rodgers. And I just don't believe that
Which
they've
makes no
done
sense.
No, but like I'm not saying that I don't think Aaron Rodgers is an upgrade over Tannehill. I'm just saying I don't believe the report. John Robinson has said Ryan Tannehill's our quarterback for 2022 to whoever he's talking to, whether it's Buck 3 times, Ben Arthur, Teron Davenport, or
Nick
whoever.
Nick Saban wasn't leaving Miami.
I am the head coach of the Miami Dolphins, right? True. Like that is true.
Is Ryan Tannehill the starting quarterback right now at 8:44 on March 7th?
Yes, but
so he's
that's
not lying.
Not John that's not how he said it. It's John Robinson has said it. Ryan Tannehill is our quarterback for 2022. He has committed several times publicly to Ryan Tannehill for the year.
Things change.
But again, I don't believe Mike Florio. I think Mike Florio, and just fair. Like Ethan Ramsey said, John Robinson, I'm sure John Robinson has made a call to figure out what that ballpark price might be, because that is his job as one of 32 general managers in the NFL, is to kick the tires and find out what prices might be. But I don't think he is one of 3 AFC teams to have a fully packaged offer on the table and a contract ready for Rodgers to sign. Because is Ryan Tannehill in that deal?
Yes,
I mean, he would have to be, right?
Well, so that gets me to my point. I think there are 2 main pros and 2 main cons to what we're talking about, okay? And I think the cons are pretty obvious. First and foremost, it's $57.4 million in dead cap, right? Yeah. That is a contract flux. That's what you're going to get yourselves into. That's the first con. The second con is the draft picks. You are going to have to give up a first-round draft pick this year, regardless if Tannehill's in the deal or if he's not in the deal, right? It's first round's gone.
Sure.
The Titans don't have a second-round pick. That's right. A massive gap in a draft. That could really hurt you in the long term to not have a first and a second-round pick in a singular draft. Now, the Rams, I don't feel like have any picks, but they just got a Super Bowl. The Titans don't have that. So the 2 main cons right there, dead cap, Tannehill, and not having a second round pick and having to give up and having that huge, massive gap. Here are the 2 pros, Austin, and these are massive. Aaron Rodgers is interested in your franchise. That's the biggest pro you could have.
Sure.
The second biggest pro, you have a starting caliber quarterback you can give up. You can trade in the deal. Ryan Tannehill's better than Jordan Love.
Yeah.
The Steelers, what kind of quarterback are they going to give him? Teddy Two Gloves? You going to send him on another merry-go-round? The Titans have the best starting quarterback to give the Packers.
I don't disagree with anything you're saying. Yes, Aaron Rodgers is way better than Ryan Tannehill. Will the Titans have a better chance to win the Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers and Tannehill? Yes. Do the Titans have the best trade package they could send the Packers?
Yes.
I mean, I think Denver can probably open more picks. It just depends on what Denver.
You get a starting quarterback, a bridge quarterback. I saw a comment earlier. It says Brian Tannehill is a great bridge quarterback for the Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers, that's a storied franchise. They cannot afford to drop off the face of the earth. Their fans won't allow them to do that. They're too spoiled with Favre and Rodgers. Austin, and they're rabid. We just went into Green Bay. A to Z Sports Green Bay. Check the website.
I'm cool with either of those.
But we know the fan base.
Yeah.
We're starting to learn. A to Z Sports, there's a little back page of what A to Z Sports is and what we're doing. We're starting to learn about fan bases. Austin and I know the Tennessee Titans fan base like the back of our hand. We've been here for 10 plus years, been studying them, been talking to them, etc. The Green Bay Packers fan base cannot have a 4-15 season, or however many damn games there are now. They can't do that. 4-13. They can't go 4-13. They can't afford to do that. So Ryan Tannehill is the best thing that you can offer immediately for the Green Bay Packers out of these 3 teams.
I don't disagree. I understand that, and I'm on board with that. But again, my gut feeling, and from, reading Buck, listening to Buck, talking to Buck on the phone, I don't think the Titans are seriously doing this.
I know, and it's frustrating.
I think Aaron Rodgers and the Titans is a way for Mike Florio to get more clicks and attention off of this story. And like you said at the very beginning, Zach, in the first 10 minutes of this show, you said that now Mike Florio is casting a wider net. So the only way Mike Florio will be proven wrong is if Aaron Rodgers does not go to one of these 4 teams. If he stays in Green Bay, Mike Florio is not proven wrong. If he goes to the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Denver Broncos, the Tennessee Titans, Mike Florio is right. But about one of them, which means he can never be proven wrong about the Titans. I just don't think the Titans are actually in this. I don't believe it.
And that's the questioning report. That's what we're questioning about this report.
I believe
a deal on a table.
I don't believe the Titans are in this.
Yeah. Is there a deal on the table? And because ultimately, whose decision is it to make?
Aaron Rodgers.
The Green Bay Packers.
It's
not Aaron Rodgers. No, that's the thing.
Again, if we're talking about what Mike Florio is saying, and if we're using Mike Florio's report, which is that these 3 teams, the Titans, Broncos, and Steelers, have an offer on the table to the Packers and a contract for Aaron Rodgers, it's up to what Aaron Rodgers picks. That Aaron Rodgers can select one of these 4 teams, including the Packers, and then it can continue.
Why? But that's not how the business side of things work.
But if we're going to go off Mike Florio's 4 teams, and we're going to go off what else he reports to, that he's saying that it's up to Aaron Rodgers to decide if he wants to go elsewhere to those 3 teams or stay in the Packers.
That's so ridiculous. If I'm the general manager of the Packers and I'm running that organization, I'm not allowing a guy who's about to leave town decide what picks I get.
I mean, here you go.
That doesn't make sense.
The third question, as we understand, the current question isn't simply Packers versus not the Packers. It's Green Bay or Denver or Tennessee or Pittsburgh, with the final move hinging on whatever Rodgers decides to do. The final move hinges on what Aaron Rodgers wants.
Too many holes in this report. It's a report, but there's too many damn holes in it. It doesn't make business sense. You don't just your dog doesn't decide how much your mortgage is, right? Like, come on.
I think Aaron Rodgers. Okay, I mean that is not exactly the best analogy,
but he doesn't decide what the future of your franchise is. That's the point. You can't. He's gone,
but he's leaving. He is deciding that.
I know. I disagree with this. I think that's Florio being wrong again.
Aaron Rodgers, it is Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers has more power than the Packers GM right now.
False. I disagree. If you really want to play hardball, that's false.
Continue.
Who actually makes the trade? Aaron Rodgers doesn't make the trade. The Green Bay Packers make the trade. He is still under contract.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Rodgers has zero power, really, in the scheme of things. No, you can have political power. You can have leverage, but that's not the case. When it comes to business, Aaron Rodgers is still under contract with the Green Bay Packers. He does what the Packers do.
He has a no trade clause. So it is on him. He is the Packers' future. Like this, his decision is the Packers' future. It's either continuing for an opportunity to win the Super Bowl next year with him, or what the hell does life look like without Aaron Rodgers after Brett Favre?
Is this the oddest sports movement that we've seen in recent years? Like the Tom Brady thing was unique, but he was a free agent. He left, he picked his team and he left. I'm taking my talents to South Beach. LeBron was a free agent. He just went to Miami. Is this the strangest? I feel like this is the strangest one. Peyton, he just picked his team, right?
No, well, Peyton, yeah, because Peyton was a free agent because the Colts had to cut him.
Right. So I've never seen
I mean,
anything like
I
this.
think the weirdest thing is the weirder thing's Deshaun Watson. Because it's got an extra wrinkle that
Fair.
Aaron Rodgers doesn't have, which is 24 of civil cases against him for sexual misconduct.
That good answer. You answered my question. So no, this is not the straightest one.
And then the fact that Texans paid Deshaun Watson like $40 million to not practice or play at all this past year.
Matt brings up a good point. Anthony Street Clothes Davis. That whole thing was weird.
Deshaun Watson's still weirder. Deshaun Watson is still the weirdest.
Yeah, because the number
Antonio
of women,
Brown,
the masseuse, like, yeah.
Antonio Brown also has had some very strange situations, like with how he got out from under the Raiders, with burning his feet on ice, in France or wherever he was. So there's been some weird stuff.
Do you believe what Kyle and Kyle throws out this part of it? He goes, Aaron has all the power right now. If he retires, it's over for Green Bay. When they get that was not the one I wanted to read. I think I got by the here it is. Chandler. I got a lot of comments, which is good. We got a lot of people watching the show. No, Zach, where Rodgers has the power is saying, trade me here and get the picks, or I retire and you get nothing at all. Do you think that he is threatening that?
I think retirement is one of the options on the table.
You think it is on the table?
I do. Yeah. Yeah. I think Aaron Rodgers doesn't need football anymore. And it's a weird thing to say that he's like, Tom Brady kind of said that he did not feel the desire to compete at this time. Now, in 6 months from now, he might.
But I don't believe Brady. So there's a side question, Austin. Okay. Who has the power with Brady? The Bucks. He's under contract with the Bucks. Yeah. Who has that power? Is it Tom Brady? Tom Brady just can't pick, hey, I want to go to San Francisco. That's not how it works.
But Tom Brady can force his way. Like he can like Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers, these guys are different. They can force whatever they want to force.
I just think it's wild that a player like that can change the trajectory of the franchise's decision making. Like ultimately, they're a $1 billion corporation.
Yeah, but these guys are everything. It's not like Le'Veon Bell with the Steelers. The Steelers didn't give a damn if Le'Veon Bell didn't play or not. Like that was Le'Veon Bell tried to hardball the Steelers, and running backs can't do that. Most quarterbacks can't do that, but Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers absolutely can.
Okay, quickly.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a deal on the table ready with the Denver Broncos?
I believe that to be true.
Do you believe that there's a deal on the table with the Pittsburgh Steelers?
This one, I'm kind of tossed up because of all the conversation about the Steelers GM possibly retiring and not drafting a quarterback for the next GM, which it's a weird GM situation right now in Pittsburgh. So I think that's more of a toss up, but it would not surprise me that the Steelers are one of these teams. The Broncos, I felt strong the whole time.
Do you think there is a deal on the table with the Tennessee Titans?
No, I do not believe the Titans have done the back channeling and all the work to put a finalized package on the table for Aaron Rodgers. I think the Titans made a call to find out more, an inquiry to get some info, but that's about it.
Last question. Do you think the Titans are idiotic for not doing it? If you think that deal, like, should the Titans have a deal on the table? Maybe I put my opinion in
idiotic is no. Idiotic is too strong.
I think it is. I think it's stupid, dumb, idiotic. I can go on and on. If you have an opportunity to get Aaron Rodgers and you're trying to ride out with Tannehill, who threw 3 picks in a playoff game just like a month ago, and you're not willing to at least take the chance to get a Hall of Fame quarterback for the second time in 3 years, that's idiotic. I
think idiotic is too strong.
Here's my question.
Nuance
slash idiotic.
All right.
Do you think the Titans should put a deal on the table for Aaron Rodgers?
Yes, but again, it cannot.
You think they should, though?
Yes, but it cannot jeopardize the Titans' future too much. But pun intended.
Right? Yeah, but that was pretty good.
Thank you.
Just Tannehill's not the answer, guys. He's not. I knew it the second The second the Bengals won in the divisional round because Tannehill lost them the game, I knew. You have a gut feeling in sports. I've watched a lot of Titans football. He ain't it. It ain't me, babe. That's what it is. You need to go find somebody else. Or Titans fans are going to be insane because they're going to be expecting the same or different result, but doing the same thing over and over and over again with Tannehill. Go get a deal done. Go find a way to get Rodgers. He wants you. The hot chicken class wants you. Go on a date. Do it. Take the chance.
I thought you said hot chicken for first, not hot chick in class. I thought you said, I was like, what is hot chicken?
You talking about the Nashville hot cocks?
That's what I thought you were. I was like, what are you talking about? And there was, hot chick in class.
Well, whenever Major League Baseball comes to Nashville, we have said we got a good marketing plan. The Nashville Hot Cocks. It's fire. It is fire. Dual stadium. That's how you get a deal done. And the theme is that Titans flame.
Baseball has some things to figure out first.
It's interchangeable. You can do Titans blue flame, and then you flip the switch. It's the Nashville Hot Cocks. We've got live hot chickens. We have a chicken race at the 7th inning stretch. Screw Frozone trying to run you down. We've got a chicken race. And the eggs that the chickens lay actually make breakfast sandwiches for midday games. Nice, like sunny side up eggs over hot chicken sandwiches. Yeah. Nashville Hot Cocks. I'm telling you.
Yeah, as you're just getting scorched, you can fry the eggs on the pavement in Nashville at the stadium, right?
Yeah.
So stupid hot. That's exactly
you want a red flame or you want a blue flame?
Yeah, who wants to go sit outside for 4.5 hours at a baseball game in July and August in Nashville and eat hot chicken with an egg on it?
If you're watching the Hot Cocks, I'm in.
Yeah,
marketing genius.
I don't know how the legalities of competitive chickens.
No, it's not a cockfight. No, it's not a cockfight. It's a chicken race. Right? You know how they have like corgi races and it's a chicken race and you let them out in the outfield and they got to get into a certain circle.
Then you get poop to deal with.
No, you get the kids signed up. There's 10 kids and whoever gets the most chickens in the basket wins. And there's a flaming basket. I mean, it's not actually on fire, but it's marketing. And so you get these kids, you get the 10 hot kids. You go, it's a chicken. You got to gather these chickens. That's entertainment.
I just don't. I don't know.
Fresh eggs every day. Eggs every day.
Yeah, that's the only good part. All right, A to Z Sports here live on this Monday show that has kind of gotten off the rails over the last couple minutes. Do we want to have the Harold Landry conversation right now? We're 48 minutes into this thing. We can hold on to it because the Titans have.
So now we're. This is a good question, Austin. We're at a flux because when's the deadline?
Tomorrow at 3 p.m. Central Time. Tuesday, 3 p.m.
So we got to take a risk. Do we ask the question now, or the question may be answered by our show tomorrow?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think we asked the question. I think the right move is to ask the question. So you ready? All right, here it is. What percentage chance will the Titans franchise tag Harold Landry before Tuesday's deadline? What percent? Yeah, and Clayton says, bring on the Landry talk. Yeah, there we go. All right, so what percentage chance do you think the Titans use the franchise tag on Harold Landry before the deadline tomorrow at 3 p.m.? But first, Zach, tell everybody about Wilson County Hyundai.
Yeah, Wilson County Hyundai is where you need to go to get your next ride. They've got you covered. Quick trip down I-40 exit 236. Payne Bone and his team will put you in the perfect make and model for you and your family. Whether it's the Sonata that I own, the four-door sedan, got great mileage. I bought that thing back in 2012. Got like 130,000 miles on it. It rides great. It is sleek. It dominates the streets. Maybe you don't need a four-door sedan. Maybe you need a full-size SUV. The Palisade can get that job done. Both Austin and I have test-driven this Palisade. It is luxurious. It's got different modes, snow mode, sport mode, normal mode, whatever you need, and third row seating. Great for the fun for the whole family. That's what it is at Wilson County Hyundai.
Download the BetMGM app, guys. Football season's awesome. Like, I love football. Don't get me wrong. But I'll tell you what, this month and April is the most fun time of the year when it comes to sports betting because of what the BetMGM app can do around all the college and pro basketball that we have going on in the next 60 days. So download the BetMGM app, use our code ATOZ Sports, and you get a risk-free bet up to $1,000 with your first bet after your first deposit. It's a great way to jumpstart your bankroll and also give you a lot of options to play with because you're either going to win that first bet big, or if you lose it, you get it back in free bets. So you keep playing and keep having fun. So visit betmgm.com for terms and conditions. You got to be 21 or older, Tennessee only. New us customer offer. All promotions are subject to qualification, eligibility requirements. Rewards issued with non-withdrawable free bets or site credit. Free bets expire in 7 days. And for problem gambling support, call Tennessee Redline at 800-889-9789. So Zach, now we talk about this Harold Landry discussion. What percentage chance will the Titans use the franchise tag on Harold Landry? I'll send you to the comment section, but here's the update from Adam Schefter this morning because the Chiefs franchise tagged Orlando Brown. They're one of their tackles. Brown becomes the first free agent to be tagged this offseason. The deadline is tomorrow at 3 p.m. Central Time. Other deadline tag options would be Devontae Adams of the Packers, Chris Godwin of your Bucks, Zach, the Chargers wide receiver Mike Williams, Bengals intercepting safety Jesse Bates, Cowboys tight end Dalton Schultz, Mike Gesicki, your guy, or Harold Landry from the Titans. So what are the percentage chances in the conference?
There's a lot of Titans news within that, right? You got Schultz and Gesicki, and then you got Landry, and I got to take the opportunity to do this. Mike Williams won that draft. Mike Williams talking about getting franchise tag. I mean, he
Corey
won that
Davis,
because
Mike Williams,
you had
John
Corey
Ross.
Davis, you had Corey Davis, Mike Williams, and John Slowdown Ross. You know,
well, I'd say if you're comparing bank accounts, then Mike Williams and Corey Davis both win. John Ross is just
but Mike Williams is going to get paid a lot more money than Corey Davis is. A lot more.
Yeah,
I mean, talking about franchise tag, especially the wide receiver position. All right, what percentage chance will the Titans franchise tag Harold Landry before Tuesday's deadline? What time is that deadline?
3 p.m. Central. Every NFL deadline is always 3 p.m. Central.
Brock says 67%. Oh, coming out here a little bit high. Steven says 20%. Daniel says 100%. 58 from Chris. 0 from Jared. Lane says 5.6. Ben Hall says 35. Jacob says 32. DB Cooper says 80. Aaron George says 50. Aaron Goff says 90. Oh, Billy says 20. Chris with 85%. Wilson Gray with 20. Ty Kendrick goes with 50-50 chance. John says 76. John, another John, says 50. 35 from Kathy. 25 from Brent. A lot of comments coming in. Corey Smith says 90. Throne says 90. 80 from Eddie. Jill says 70%. Max says 70%. Lou Man, he's off the fence.
There you go.
49.9% from our guy Lou.
He actually said he's going down. He's going down another 10th. So
secret agent, man. Oh, yep, he's going down. It's going down. Yell Timber for 007 Lou. Thaddeus says 90%. So those percentage, and we got more percentage coming in. Bobby says 7%. That cap hit would hamstring anything the Titans would want to do in free agency. Austin, what is your percentage?
I said this over the course of this, season, right? This off-season topics, that the right way to use the franchise tag is just to kick the can down the road and buy or sell 4 or 5 months to get Harold Landry under a long-term contract, because the Titans cannot afford for Harold Landry to play this season under the franchise tag. They just can't pull that off. They don't have enough cap space because $17.4 million of a franchise tag all counts this 1 year.
But if you franchise him, you have to be willing to sign him.
Yeah. If you franchise tag him, you have to be willing for him to play on that number. But
because if I was Harold Landry, you get a lot more money on the open market.
It's really tough because it's the Titans. This is a gamble for the Titans, because if Tuesday 3 p.m. Central comes and goes and nothing happens with Harold Landry, the Titans got 5 days to do something before he hits the open market. And you do not want Harold Landry to hit the open market, because you cannot You cannot compete with that.
Maybe they're waiting for Aaron Rodgers to pick up the deal and pick the Titans, right? Because if a deal's on the table.
The Titans cannot compete for Harold Landry. So I do not think, I say 30% chance they use the tag. And I think it's what Mikey's saying, which is what I've said, is that if they tag him to keep talking, the cap's gone if he signs it. Right. Yeah. So I think, no, if he signs the franchise tag, you can still negotiate for the long-term deal up until like July 15th, I believe. So I think 30% chance they use the tag, and that would just extend the conversations for a long-term deal. But it's a gamble. And again, I've said this too. Like I don't think it's smart to pay Harold Landry $17+ million a year on average, because
they've done everything correctly. You drafted him, you got good value. He's up for contract. He's a dominant pass rusher.
But you signed Bud Dupree for big time money, and you've got a first round pick in Jeffrey Simmons, Jeffrey Simmons is more valuable than Harold Landry for the Titans.
Oh yes.
And so that's the unfortunate thing that Harold Landry's here in his situation.
I think we've established the only way that they keep Landry is franchise tag him and then negotiating. If he goes to the open market, he's gone. Bye, Brady. He ain't coming back.
And Bobby's right. I think it's a very similar situation to Jack Conklin. It's the guy has done what you need, although I think Landry's more valuable than Conklin. But I'm talking about
he didn't have injuries.
It's the situation of you've got a guy who has done everything you've asked him to do. He's worked hard. He's been a model athlete for you. And the problem is you're just paying somebody else at the same position a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to stick to what I think is going to happen. I'm going to go lower than you. I'll go 25%. I don't think that they franchise tag him. I think they let him walk. And I think it also solidifies they ain't trading for Aaron Rodgers because they can't give up a first-round pick, because now you got to look at pass rusher, right? Because you're not going to get the same value. He is your guy. So you got to go draft. You got to redraft a pass rusher. So, unfortunately, I think that's how this thing's going to work out. Harold Landry will no longer be a Tennessee Titan. Aaron Rodgers will not be a Tennessee Titan. And now, instead of wide receiver, we're going to also be talking about pass rusher at 26 overall in the NFL draft. Mark my words, that's what I think is going to happen.
All right. Very interesting. We have a new Monday Into Show topic that we're going to debut today. But real quick, let me tell you guys about our friends at Renters Warehouse. RentersWarehouse.com. They're the professional landlords in the Nashville area. Simply go to RentersWarehouse.com and they will tell you how much your home can rent for. There's a bunch of different ways you can use Renters Warehouse to your benefit, create extra cash flow for you and your family, because you make money in real estate when you buy, not when you sell. So the alternative to selling your home is letting Renters Warehouse take it over and do all the work, and you get the benefit, which is the money in your pocket. They price it, they find the tenants, they do everything, the maintenance calls, the tax paperwork, everything, and you do nothing. You just get that money and continue to build equity at renterswarehouse.com.
A to Z Sports, we are powered by BetMGM. They are the king of sports books, and you cannot beat them when it comes to betting and having the opportunity to win some money. Right there on the screen, if you download the app, use the promo code ATOZ Sports, risk-free bet up to $1,000 for new users. Download the app today. All right, we've had to make some adjustments. This is a new segment on Monday. I think both Austin and I agree in the sense of bad sales job was good. We got a little heated. We argue quite a bit. We don't need to be arguing even more than we already have to. This is a fun game. That's what we try to do at the end of shows. It's called Would You Rather? Would you rather? So what do? We give a question, and in the comment section, you have to tell us what you would rather do, one or the other. This is the first time that we've done it, so we're going to see how it goes, right? I mean, we're always open. The first question that we are going to put out there is, Would you rather give up air conditioning and heating for the rest of your life or give up the internet for the rest of your life without moving? I had to add the without moving because I was like, I did kind of a sales job on this. Well, I would just move to Hawaii, right? But no, without moving, what would you do? What would you rather? Give up air conditioning and heating for the rest of your life or give up the internet for the rest of your life? The internet ain't going anywhere. And Mother Nature ain't going anywhere either.
I'm very surprised at the comments so far. So, would you rather give up? Which would you rather give up, right? So, I see giving up internet, buy internet. Titans Kyle says AC and heating. Here's my thought.
Guys, you can no longer comment on the show anymore.
And
A to Z Sports is dead to you guys. Remember that. So what do you value in your life, huh? Huh, chat?
I give up the AC and heating. Like, it's gonna suck. Don't get me wrong, but like the internet, if you have to give up the internet for the rest of your life, you are out. Like, what are you doing? Like, you can't use an app. You have to do can you even use your credit card?
It's a good question though. Adrian says goodbye Wi-Fi.
No, we're not talking about the Wi-Fi. No LTE, no smartphone. You can make a phone call. That is all. Can you text? No. Does texting count as the internet?
No, texting's over wireless. So texting does count, but you can't go to browsers. You can't go to Amazon.
No Amazon. Everything you shop has to be in person. No, we're not talking about Wi-Fi. We're talking about the internet. Like using websites, using apps, using your smartphone for something more than just phone calls and texts. So I give up heating and AC.
What? So that doesn't make any sense too.
And I have to be able to do things. I can at least, if I give up heating and AC, I can at least buy my new jacket to keep me warm at night, or my new quilts and stuff.
It snowed multiple times here in Nashville. Imagine going through that without any heat.
No, I mean, I get it, but I can always put on more clothes. That's my view is I can always put on more clothes. Now, I can only take off so many clothes. So I can only get naked.
Well,
right?
You ain't watching Netflix and chilling. You're going to be chilly, but you ain't watching Netflix. All that's gone too.
What are you talking about?
Netflix is a streaming.
I'm not giving up the internet, dude. I'm keeping the internet. What are you talking about?
Oh, you're keeping the internet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm keeping the internet.
So you're going to be, I guess, frozen with Netflix.
No, again, I can keep putting on more clothes. I can I can put on wool, layers, blankets, quilts, everything. I can start fires. Now, the summer is where it's tough because you can't escape that heat. That's just tough. And I've had moments where my electricity.
Sleeping hot?
Yeah, you're going to have to, but I still have electricity, right? So I just have to get as much air circulation and fans as possible. Just, it's hot air moving, but it's moving.
Fans.
But look, I'd rather give that up. And no, I can still have hot water and cold water because that's not AC and heating. It's a hot water heater. I got that. So I'm keeping the internet and giving up AC, air conditioning, and heat.
I actually think I go the other direction.
You give up internet?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So no more A to Z Sports, but I can't sleep hot, man. I can live my life and text, I would just be living like in the 90s, or in the 80s, right? I'm living a different life, but I can still have happiness. No, I can still have happiness. I have a credit card. I can go buy a Starbucks. I can go buy lunch.
How are you going to pay off that credit card?
Send it in the mail. They still do that. Hell, I get
Zach,
mail.
I said because you hate the mail. You hate mail.
I sacrifice that because in the winter, it's so cold, man. You can't you can sleep with blankets, but when you move to go get something, you're going to be frozen.
Nah.
And plus it could hurt your health. You're constantly cold. You get sick. Your body is not adaptable to that. I give up the internet.
I don't know. I give up AC and heat. I can figure it out. Again, like the summer is the harder part. But as somebody just said, somebody just had a brilliant answer. Malachi, he says you build a bedroom upstairs and then a bedroom in the basement. So when it's hot outside, you go to the basement bedroom. When it's cold, you go upstairs where the heat rises naturally.
And I think we've coincidentally done this. Tyler says it sounds like a bad sales job, but we had a lot of good comments. I think this is a good question.
Yeah.
It was difficult.
But I give up AC and heat, keep the internet. Because like you talk about going back and living in the 80s. Like you can't do that yet. Like maybe when if we were both a decade older, then yeah, I get that. And being able to just check out all of the internet. But right now in our lifestyle, we can't do that.
We just have to adapt. The humans are built to adapt.
But we're adapting the opposite direction of everybody else. If you're giving up the internet, everybody else is moving this direction and you're going way back over here.
One of my buddies has a flip phone. He's my age. He does that on purpose.
But he still uses the internet, just not on his phone.
He's yes, but that's a big part of our lives. I mean, this thing's a big part of this is how important the internet is, or phones in general. I had to go to the Apple store this weekend because my AirPods or whatever. So I walked into Sunglass Hut, tried on some sunglasses. I liked these sunglasses. I really liked these sunglasses. The problem was when I had these sunglasses on, my Face ID didn't scan. It wouldn't work. I can't buy those.
Nope.
You can't buy them.
That's weird. Why? How big were these sunglasses? The Face ID is supposed to be like your mouth and chin and stuff.
One of the reasons why I like these sunglasses, you couldn't see my eyes. So like the lenses were dark, and I have to assume that was the reason why. But you can't buy those sunglasses. I can't go down the road and keep doing this when Oh
yeah, that was the worst thing about having to wear masks is the Face ID. Yeah, I have to like keep typing in my 6-digit passcode every freaking time. Yeah, or do that and look like an idiot.
All right. Well, experimental. Would you rather? You're going no AC. I'm going no internet. That was the first one. Again, we don't discuss these, so I had no idea. I wonder what it will be like when we agree, or if the chat agrees. Now we'll be attacking other people.
Yeah. I also sometimes have ADD too strong where I forget that I have to keep my head still for Face ID and turn away to do something else as the app's opening, and I don't recognize Did you ever have that situation?
You're just too quick.
I'm too quick. Well, I get distracted for Face ID and I do this, and then I have to start all over again. That's just a problem that I have. I don't know if other people have that
and
problem.
And DB, bringing some good heat. Reset your Face ID with the sunglasses on. Chess, not checkers. DB Cooper, love of the show right there. I'm going to go back and do this. DB Cooper, love of the show. Great way to end Monday.
Yeah, Bobby says magic bucket. Zach has to do A to Z with no internet. No, that's just Zach having the day off. That's not how that works.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, right. No, that just puts more on me. That's not a good idea there, Bobby. All right, guys, we will see you tomorrow on a Tuesday. Don't forget the A to Z Sports Podcast Network. Check it out on Apple, Spotify, anywhere else you get your podcast. For the A to Z Sports Podcast Network, new Vols podcast coming out today. Couple Titans episodes coming out. Buck Rising had a good conversation with Teron Davenport at the Combine, so check that out at the A to Z Sports Podcast Network, Apple, and Spotify. And Buck live tonight with A to Z Sports Primetime. We'll see you guys later on. Appreciate it.